Just waiting a few moments for people to log on. As usual, just checking that you can hear me okay. I'm gonna do this class without music just to make sure that the sound can come through. All right. Welcome everyone. Okay, good. Hi, Susanna. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So I'll get started with the introduction so we can make sure to have as much of the hour that we have together. So for those of you who do not know me or haven't taken any of my classes at Evolution, my name is Genevieve. I am a yoga teacher, I'm a naturopathic doctor as well, and I'm really excited to be able to offer a lovely gentle flow for you this evening. So I really want to emphasize that this is your time to practice. So I'm guiding you, I'm giving you some options to move with your body today. And just remember that you have permission to take a rest at any point. That might mean coming into child's pose, that might mean lying on your back or coming into a seated pose. So just make the practice whatever you need it to be this evening. I see a few of you are still logging on. Hi. And you don't need any props for this practice. If you do have a couple blocks, you could just bring them nearby in case it allows you to get into a pose with a little bit more ease and comfort. All right, for those of you who just logged on, I'm Genevieve, welcome. And so today we'll be doing a gentle flow. We'll start by just settling into a little bit of a centering, and then we'll be moving through the practice. I also want to mention that because I'm not with you in your living room or your room or wherever you're practicing in your home, really advocate for yourself. So I can't give you any corrections or adjustments if poses aren't feeling right for your body or causing discomfort. So make adjustments as you can. If you're not quite sure how to do that in a pose, you can either come into a different variation of like a different pose. You might come out of that pose completely and just wait for the next section of the class to continue. Okay, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna start seated. So finding a nice comfortable seat, you might find yourself either on a block or a little pillow or something if you find that that's comfortable for your hips. Otherwise, taking one leg in front, one leg behind, you can take hands onto your knees or your thighs, and we'll just start by closing the eyes or taking the gaze low. We'll just settle into a few moments of stillness here. Just bringing in an intention of honoring yourself throughout this next hour of your class, of your practice. Making this time on your mat a really beautiful opportunity to check in, to notice what you might be feeling in the body as we move. But also what might be coming up either energetically or emotionally in the body. And even checking in on what thoughts are coming up in your practice. Is there any self-talk that comes up? You might notice thoughts about your day. We're going to start to deepen the breath here. And as you do so, as you deepen the breath, I invite you to start to breathe not only in the chest and the rib cage, but allow the belly to expand with the inhale and then to draw back down with the exhale. If you're having a hard time connecting with the movement of that breath, you might take one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, and just really connect through your hands the movement and the flow of that breath. Two more really big breaths right here. Last one. If your hands are on the belly and the chest, bring them back down onto your knees or your thighs. We'll start to move into the neck. So you can keep your eyes closed here. You're bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. And then starting to take semicircles with the neck as you bring the chin down towards your chest. And then come opposite ear, so right ear to the right shoulder. Moving side to side, so flowing back over to the other side. You might be moving at the same speed as me, faster, slower, whatever serves you. Finishing one more semicircle. And the head comes back up through center. Couple rolls of the shoulder. You might start to open up the eyes now. Reverse the roll of the shoulders. All right, and then let the shoulders settle down. We're going to take a twist. So find nice length through the spine. You'll take your right hand and cross it over to the left knee, lengthen, and then reach back with the left arm. The gaze might be looking out towards the side of the mat, or if it's available for you, you might come back towards the hand or the back corner of your mat. Just a gentle twist here, so you're not pushing, but you're just allowing yourself to find that nice rotation through the spine. Maintaining that nice full breath as we start to come into movement. On your next exhale, release back through center, taking a moment to neutralize, and then we'll come to the other side. You'll cross the left hand over to the right knee, lengthen through the spine, twist as you reach your right arm back. And again, playing around with the gaze, just noticing where the neck likes to fall here. One last big inhale. And exhale, release through center. You're going to plant your left hand down, right arm sweeps up. Take a side stretch. And from here, we're actually going to walk ourselves towards the top left corner of the mat. And then through center, releasing through the spine. Take a full breath. And then walk yourself to the right-hand corner of your mat. You're going to plant your right hand down and then open up to find your side stretch on the other side. Make sure you find length through both sides of the body here. Sit bones are rooted. And inhale, bring yourself back up through center, release the arms, and make your way into tabletop. So you might roll through your knees here, or sweep both legs out to the side, and find yourself with shoulders right over the wrists, hips over the knees, toes could be tucked or untucked. And we'll move through cat-cow. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, tailbone and head reach up as the belly draws down. Exhale, roll through the spine, push into the hands, curl forward. Move at your own pace with your breath. Closing the eyes here and just feeling into the body. Notice where you're holding on to tension. Notice where you notice more movement or less movement in the spine, and see if you can invite more space with the breath. You might choose to stay with this cat-cow here, or you might start to go side to side. So if you're going to join me, you'll come through center, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, hips come to the right and gaze goes to the left. Inhale back through center, exhale hips to the left, gaze to the right. Getting a nice stretch through the side body and the hip. Again, moving at your speed. Last one, wherever you are. And then we'll come back through tabletop. Make any adjustments you need. Make sure that your hips stay right over your knees. We're coming into our happy puppy here. Your core is strong, so the belly button is drawing in. And then you're going to walk the hands forward and gently start to lower the chest down. Pushing and grounding through the palms. Ensuring that that core stays engaged, and remembering that you can use blocks if you have them. So if the forehead is not coming all the way down, you can place a block onto the forehead. Two more breaths. Last breath. And draw the belly button in strong through your center as you walk yourself back up through center, tabletop. Couple cat-cows here just to move through the spine. And then when you feel ready, make your way into your first downward facing dog. Hands shoulder width distance apart, fingers spread, tuck the toes, and hips go up and back. We're here for a few breaths, just walking it out, or taking any movements that feel nice for your body here. Waking up the back of the legs. If the hamstrings, the back of the legs are feeling quite tight, you might choose to bend into both knees and open a little bit more through the chest. Finding a final full breath, making your way into stillness. And then start to walk your feet towards your hands. So we're coming into a forward fold here, feet hip width distance apart. And let's start out with both knees bent. So you're draping your torso over your thighs, letting the head hang heavy. Hands could be on the floor or on a block. You might choose to gently sway side to side. You might start to pedal one leg straight, one leg bent. Just see what your body is asking for you to do. How does it want you to move? Or does it want you to find stillness here? As you take one final breath, make your way into stillness. A little bend into both knees if they've come straight, and then you're going to step back with your right leg. all the way back. First, finding your high runner's lunge, and then lower the back knee. So we're coming into our low lunge here. Make sure the front knee is right over the ankle, and bring yourself all the way up. If it's not feeling ideal for your arms to be reaching up, you can bring them onto the front thigh. Two big breaths. And then release the hands on either side of the front foot. You're going to shift your hips back. Stop when your hip is right over the knee, and then walk that front foot forward, toes reaching up towards the ceiling. So if the floor is feeling really far and you do have blocks here, you can bring the blocks under the hands for this next little bit variation for some support. We're here for 2 more breaths. We're going to be moving through a flow here, so you can use the blocks or just your hands as we walk through this next section. You're going to be inhaling to come into your low lunge, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, shift back, find your half splits. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, shift back. Last one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, shift back. This time as you inhale forward, remove the blocks to the side, tuck the back toe if it's not already tucked, lift the knee. We're coming into our high lunge here. Come up onto the fingertips and lengthen through the spine. So I want you to find length and strength from that back heel all the way through the leg, through the spine, and out the top of the head. 2 breaths. Plant the hands down, little bend into that back knee, big step forward into that forward fold. Couple breaths here. Maybe you start to find a little bit more length through the back of the legs, so you're straightening them out. Or take any variation that serves you. And we'll get ready for the other side. Little bend into both knees. Step back with the left leg. Find your high runner's lunge first, and then lower the back knee down. Finding your low lunge, hands come onto the front thigh or reach all the way up. If that back knee is quite tender, remember that you can roll the mat in half and slide the knee onto a little bit of a cushion, or if you have a little pillow or a blanket, slide it under that back knee. Last breath. Release the hands. Shift the hips back, finding your half splits here. We're here for 3 big breaths, using the blocks if you need them. Last breath. Coming into our flow, inhaling forward, find your low lunge, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, shift it back, half splits. 2 more, inhale forward. Exhale back. Last one. Exhale, shift it back. This time as you inhale forward, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, find your high runner's lunge, come onto the fingertips, lengthen, engage the core. Find that strength in the back heel, through the leg, through the whole torso, out through the top of the head. 2 breaths. Release the hands down further. Bend the back knee, big step forward. Find your forward fold. Little bend into both knees. We're gonna roll up one vertebra at a time. Scoop the belly, engage the core as you come up. When you get all the way to the top, roll the shoulders open, palms come forward, finding your Tadasana or your mountain pose here. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back into your high or low plank. So option to have the knees lifted or the knees down onto the mat. Wherever you are, long line through the body. We're gonna lower all the way down onto our bellies. When you get there, untuck the toes, roll the shoulders open, 3 baby cobras with your breath. Inhaling to lift. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Last one. Making your way through tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Big breath. Inhale, sweep your right leg up behind you, 3-legged dog. Exhale, as you bring it under you, you're gonna step about a foot behind your hands, plant the back foot down, back toes 45 degrees, and bring yourself up into warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Arms can be reaching up towards the ceiling. You could also take hands at prayer, so heart center, if the shoulders are feeling really tight. Traditionally, heels are in line. However, if you're having a hard time balancing or a lot of tension in the low back, you can widen your stance. So rather than heels in line, take it railroad tracks. One more breath right here. If your hands are in prayer, you're going to reach them up. We're keeping our legs right where they are, but we're going to take a flow with the body. You're going to inhale, gently gaze up, open heart center. Exhale, flow forward, release down as you sweep the arms back. And then inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. 2 more, releasing down. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Last one. Straighten your front leg. Gently fold forward. We're here for 1 breath. Bend into your front knee, plant your hands, step back, high or low plank. Moving through our vinyasa here. Option to lower all the way or part way through chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe you take your upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We'll meet here. Full breath. Inhale, left leg sweeps up behind you, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring it underneath, plant it about a foot behind your hands, ground down the back, heel turned out 45 degrees with the toes, and make your way all the way up into warrior one. And as we settle into this side, couple things to check into. So hips are gently squaring towards the front of the room in our warrior one. And I want you to note what's happening with your rib cage. A lot of times we flare, we kind of arch the back, rib cage opens up. See if you can engage the core and draw the rib cage down. Finishing your final breath. Inhale, hands reach up, gaze up. Exhale, sweep it forward and then back. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, fold. Last one, exhale, forward. Inhale, bring it up. Straighten your front leg, folding forward on your exhale. One breath. Bend into your front knee as you take your inhale, step back, higher low plank. Exhale, lower all the way or part way. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Maybe you walk it out, maybe you enjoy some stillness. Start to walk your feet towards your hands, back into that forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come up to standing. Reach your arms all the way up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Release. This time, come back to one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And we're just gonna check in here. I want you to feel that full breath. You notice that the breath has sped up a little bit. See if you can invite it to slow back down. Maybe you feel your heartbeat. Maybe you notice some sensations in the body. Last big breath. Release the arms. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold, release your hands, step back with your right leg. Find your high runner's lunge. Find that nice deep bend in the front knee. Hands can come onto the thigh or reach all the way up. So we're coming into our crescent lunge here. Reach through that back heel. 2 breaths. Engage the core, open up that back foot, ground it down, and find your warrior 2. Making sure that the front heel is in line with the middle of the back arch. Option to stay here, or option to come into eagle arms. Your right arm's gonna come underneath, left arm on top. You can either reach the back of the arms, the back of the hands, or come to palms touching each other. Your legs are staying in that deep warrior 2 stance. Relax the shoulders, and then start to lift the elbows slightly. So getting a broadening through the shoulder blades, maybe through the outer edges of the shoulders. Last inhale. Exhale, release the arms back out. Inhale, straighten that leg, exalted warrior. Reach it back with that left arm. And bring yourself back into warrior 2. This time, arms come behind us, clasping the hands, roll the shoulders, and then draw the hands down towards the floor. If everything feels okay as you continue to draw the hands down, maybe you take a gentle gaze upwards. Inhale, release. Reach it back out, warrior 2. Windmill the arms, find your high runner's lunge, step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay in your downward dog here, or to move through your vinyasa. If you're moving through vinyasa, you're inhaling to find your variation of plank. Exhale, part way or all the way. Inhale, find your back bend. And then exhale, downward facing dog, and we'll meet back here. Full breath. Walking the feet forward to meet our hands. When we get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach the arms up. Exhale, release all the way down. And we'll come to the other side. I'm just going to come to the other edge of my mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, step back with your left leg. Find your high runner's lunge. Ground down through your feet. And then make your way all the way up. So reaching up or hands on the thigh. Two breaths. Engage the core, turn out the back foot, ground it down, finding your warrior two. Check in on your alignment. Making sure that that front knee is not caving in, so you're keeping it nice and open. Knee is running over the middle of the toes. Keep the legs where they are. Left arm comes underneath, right arm on top. Take your variation of eagle arms. Relaxing the shoulders and then gently lifting the elbows. Last inhale. Exhale, release the arms out. Inhale, lengthen the front leg, reach the right arm up. Take your back bend. And come back through center. Find your warrior two once again. Release the hands. We're going to clasp the hands. Take the opposite clasp. So it's likely the one that feels a bit uncomfortable. Roll the shoulders open. Draw the hands down. And maybe you take the gaze up slightly. Release back out. Find your warrior two. Windmill your arms. High runner's lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here and breathe, or move through your vinyasa at your own speed. Full breath. From your downward dog, walk your feet forward once again, finding your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, release. Good. Moving through a variation of sun salutation, we're going to be coming into a side plank. And as I take the side plank, I'm going to show you 3 different options. So if you're not quite sure, just take a moment, look at the 3 options I give you, and then choose the one that serves your body. So from your Tadasana here, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, find your high plank. Getting ready for our side plank here. You're gonna walk the left hand under your face and then open up the hips. So option 1, that top leg crosses over and it's gonna bend and support you here. Hand could be on the hip or reaching up. Option 2, you're stacking the feet. Option 3, you can lift that top leg. So wherever you are, Keep lifting the hips. 3 breaths. Release the hand down. Find your high plank. You can do it. And we're going to lower all the way down. You can lower your knees if you need. Untuck the toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. And inhale, downward facing dog. One full breath. Inhale, make your way into your high plank once again. We're coming into the other side. Right hand comes under the face. Open up the hips, so stack the hips. Option 1, you bring that top left leg up and over. 90-degree angle to support you here. Maybe you reach up or hand on the hip. Option 2, stacked feet. Option 3, lift the top foot. 3 breaths. Back through center. Lowering down. On your inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. This time, make your way through tabletop. Knees come wide and settle into child's pose. Couple big breaths here. If the arms are a bit tired, you can just let them go, relax them. One more breath. Making your way into your downward dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips. And mindfully come into your forward fold. We're going to open up a little bit into the hips before we come into our balance here. So you're going to turn the toes out about 45 degrees. You can use the support of a block or the floor. We're coming into our yogic squat. So you're bending into the knees. Make sure knees stay right over the toes here. So you can keep hands down. You can bring hands to heart center. If your hips aren't lowering all the way, you can sit onto a block. So that just lifts everything up a little bit. Or come into a squat with ankles and knees together. A little bit of a balance. So wherever you are, couple full breaths. If you're in the full variation here, tailbone is reaching down. Shoulders are opening, chest is opening. Last breath. Release the hands down. Start to roll into your forward fold. Turn the feet parallel once again. And release into your forward fold. Couple breaths. And we're going to roll through the spine all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders, find your Tadasana. Big breath. All right, so our balance for this evening is going to be standing half lotus. Now I'm going to demo the variations so that you're not trying to watch me while you do it. So as we come into it, option 1 is going to be coming bent supporting leg right here. If you're feeling like you want to go a little bit further, You're gonna keep folding forward. Maybe the forearms come onto the shin. If everything's feeling okay and you haven't done this, maybe using a block for support if you have one. And if it's still feeling okay, reaching down. Now, if you're folding all the way down, being really mindful of the back of your knee. You do not want to hyperextend the knee back, so keep a little bend in the knee so that you have that stability and control and protection. All right, so hands on the hips. We're gonna transfer our weight onto the left foot, starting to lift the right knee up, flex into the foot, and start to cross it over the thigh as you bend into the supporting leg. Hands come to heart center. So this is option one. Maybe you stay right here. If you want to take it further, you're folding, hinging at the hips here. So maintaining a bit of a long spine. If everything's still feeling okay, maybe you come to that block. Maybe you come to the floor. Maybe you release the head. If you are folding, again, pay attention to the knee. Don't lock it all the way back. Two more breaths wherever you are. Engage the core. If you folded forward, bring yourself back up. And we'll all rise up, lifting that right knee, and come down and then shake it out. So hopefully if you felt a little bit of either stretch or strengthening through the outer hip and the glutes. Getting ready for the other side, hands on the hips, transferring to the right leg, left leg lifts up, flex into the foot, and start to cross it over as you bend into that supporting leg. Hands come to heart center. So this is stop number one. Still a lot of beautiful benefits here. Nice stretch, strength and balance. Maybe you fold. Maybe you release to a block. Or all the way down. Two more big breaths. If you're folded, engage the core. Start to bring yourself back up through center. We'll all push through that supporting leg, lift the knee, and then let it go, shake it out. Good. All right, stepping back up towards the top of your mat. We're gonna inhale, sweep our arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into your knees, plant your hands, and step back, downward facing dog. Big breath. Inhale, sweep the left leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that knee to the wrist. We're coming into our pigeon here. So you're releasing down. We want our hips to stay square here, so you're not rolling off to one side, but equally distanced. The more you bring this front foot forward, so 90 degrees forward, the deeper the stretch. The more it comes to the opposite hip, the less intense the stretch. So find that alignment. You can stay up here. You could start to release down. If you're coming down into the forearms, if you have any pillows or bolsters or blocks, you can always use those for support. If you need just a little bit of height or adjustment. If you're noticing that you're rolling off to one side quite a bit, another option is to use the block if you have one or a pillow and just slide it under the hip that's rolling over. So either that front hip or the outside of the back hip. And the block just supports the hip or the leg a little bit so that it's not rolling down to the floor, allowing you to find the right alignment. breaths. Gently walking your hands up onto the mat. I like to tuck my back toe to walk the hips forward a little bit, and then from there I step back into downward facing dog. Walk it out. You can lift that leg up, shake out the hip if you need. And we'll come to the other side. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Inhale and then exhale. Bring the knee forward to meet the wrist. So again, find that alignment. Hips are centered. Just so you can see on this side, the block under the hip, that's what it would look like if you need the support. Back leg is right behind you. And then take your variation. And just notice if it's any different from that first side. Do you feel it in a different part of the hip? Different part of the leg or the back? Three more breaths. Starting to gently walk your hands onto the mat, torso comes up, tuck the back toe to walk the hips forward, and step back, downward facing dog, shake it out. And from here, you're gonna lower your knees onto the mat, and then you're gonna come seated. We're gonna find a nice inner thigh stretch here. So you're gonna come into your straddle pose here. If there's a lot of tension in the low back, so you're already noticing that you're rolling through the low back, you can sit on a little pillow or a block just to lift the hips up a little bit, and it can bring some length into the back. Your feet are gonna be staying flexed here, so we want the legs to be engaged. And we're gonna start by hinging at the hips. So rather than curling forward, you're folding at the hips as you walk yourself forward. So you might notice that you might not go too far, and that's okay. We're just gently moving into the body here. Tall spine, rolling forward. You could stay here, or you could start to fold forward a little bit more. So that might look like releasing the head. It might look like rolling through the shoulders. Remembering that if you do have pillows or blocks, that those are really good options for support. And as we slow our practice down here, really tune into the breath. So check in with what the breath is doing, and see if you can invite those deep belly breaths, those nourishing inhales and exhales into the body, into the tension. Toes keep reaching towards the ceiling. We're here for a couple more breaths. Last big breath. And gently start to walk yourself back up. Hands can come to the back of the knees or the thighs as you draw the knees up. Take your time. Shake it out however you need. And then we're going to come into our butterfly. So in butterfly here, if you want to get a deeper stretch into the hips, you're going to bring the feet towards the pelvis. If you want a bit more stretch through the low back, widen that diamond so the feet come forward. Then wherever you are, lengthen through the spine. Hands can be on the ankles and then hinging forward. So we find that long spine to start. Maybe you stay here with a little bit of gentle traction on the inner thighs with the elbows, or maybe you fold, releasing the arms and the spine and the head. Taking 3 breaths here and inviting the exhales to be through the mouth. So you're just sighing out any tension, any frustration, any discomfort, anything that doesn't serve you in this moment. Gently starting to roll yourself back up to seated. Gather the knees up with the hands, shake it out. We're going to be making our way onto our back. So if you want a blanket for your Shavasana or pillows under the knees or anything like that, make sure they're near you. And then we're going to make our way back, knees bent. You can either release slowly using the core, or you could have hands behind the thighs rolling down one vertebra at a time. All the way down. When you get to the bottom, hug both knees into your chest. We'll finish up with happy baby. So drawing the knees towards the shoulders, flex into your feet. Soles of the feet reach to the ceiling. Hands can either come to the shins or to the outer soles of the feet. And you might choose to stay here in stillness, drawing the tailbone down. Or you might choose to invite a little bit of a rock side to side. I really like to lengthen through one leg and then the next when I rock side to side. And starting to release the soles of the feet onto the mat. For your Shavasana here, your final resting pose, a couple options. If you feel that you want a bit more hip opening, you could come into your reclined bound angle. You can always bring blocks under the thighs here for support. If you're coming into this variation, you could bring pillows or bolsters under the knees to support the knees, or you can just release all the way down. Allow the ankles to roll open, roll the shoulders under the back. Take up as much space as you need. Just let the whole body find stillness. Let the whole body be completely supported by the mat and any bolsters or any supports that you have. We're going to take a quick scan of the body here to invite some final relaxation so that you can enjoy this beautiful rest. And checking in with the feet and the shins and the calves, inviting relaxation and heaviness. Noticing both knees, The thighs and the back of the upper legs completely relaxed and supported. Noticing the hips rolling open. Noticing the pelvis supported, relaxed. Release any tension that you're holding on along the belly, the low belly, the mid belly, the rib cage. Allow the abdomen to move gently with the breath. Noticing the gentle curve of the spine, so the low back might rise from the ground. Notice the mid back, the upper back, and the neck. Noticing an opening through the front of the chest, the collarbone, and the shoulders. Let that entire area fall heavy. Let both upper arms, elbows, lower arms, and hands be completely supported, completely relaxed. Allow the throat to feel open and soft. Allow the entire face, all the jaw, mouth, eye muscles, forehead to be relaxed and soft. Finally, just noticing the entire body completely supported, completely relaxed, and just enjoying the stillness. I invite you to rest here for as long as serves your body. Just breathing, feeling the breath. I thank you all for sharing this space with one another, for sharing this practice, and for honoring your bodies. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your evening.